Okay, so what Diamond in the Rough is about, it's a kind of, it's a narrative, and it's an outside looking in on a child with autistic spectrum disorder, or ASD. And as someone who has been diagnosed with ASD, and it was an incredibly difficult time when I was growing up. I didn't really know who I was really, and it wasn't really until I got a bit older where I kind of realised that, it really did answer an awful lot of the problems I was going through when I was going, especially during my time at comprehensive school when I started out there in infant school, and especially also in my secondary school. But it's not like I was really aware of the problems, because obviously as a child I was just being a child, but from having, especially from what my mum had told me about various things which had been going on, for her it was an incredibly difficult time, not because of the problems I had, but it was basically the lack of help, and with that I struggled mentally in a lot of ways to sort of get out. But I wrote a song in about 2008 or 2009, but it's more or less 10 years old, that song. I wrote it on one of my outings to Cirencester Woods, which is a really lovely secluded woodland area, a bit like the one where we're at today in the amphitheatre in Cirencester. But the Cirencester Woods area is on the outskirts of Stroud, and it's a place I like to go to basically detox if I'm feeling a little bit stressed or a little bit just need to get a little bit of fresh air. And I brought the guitar with me just on a whim really, and I sat down and started strumming some chords throughout the G to the D F sharp, E minor 7, C add 9. I was just strumming along, and then out of nowhere these lyrics were coming through, and I wrote it in about 10 minutes. But the opening line, Erratic Soul, that was an incredibly late addition to the song. It was almost at the 11th hour before the recording took place. The original lyric was, he was so smart, yet so genteel, but on reflection that didn't really make much sense. So trying to find a phrase to replace that in the general context of the song was the hardest part of the song. Everything else was relatively straightforward, and on the studio version you can hear the solo which I penned, and the programming which we did in the studio. But the opening line, the erratic soul part, was probably about 2 weeks before I hit the studio, so it was an incredibly new thing, but I think that's a much better change in regards to the song. I didn't want to have any regrets when it came down to recording. I spent far too long writing these songs. Okay, so this song is called Diamond in the Rough.
Erratic soul, her smile so genteel, he had a heart that could not feel. Always nervous, foldering his arm, lock and key, his memory. his memory. Lock and key, his memory. Lock and key, his memory. Lock and key, his memory.